Finalist number 3 this evening is StreetWork. StreetWork delivers prevention and early intervention services for at-risk young people aged between 11 and 25 in Sydney's North. They focus on 5 key areas: mental health, suicide and self-harm, youth crime, early school leavers not engaged in employment, and youth homelessness. To tell us about the difference our funding could make, please welcome StreetWork's Helen Banu.
At StreetWork, we support vulnerable young people in community to turn their life around. This year is a special year for StreetWork as we are celebrating our 40th year of operation. In order for you to understand or get a better feeling as to the services we deliver and the young people we support, I actually want to share Ryan's story with you. Ryan was referred to StreetWork by the police when he was 16. He never had a great relationship with his parents, and often any interaction he had with them ended up with a major fight. After a big night out, Ryan returned home and his father confronted him about the drugs that he found in his bedroom. As you can understand, Ryan absolutely lost it, yelling at his parents, abusing them, throwing things around the room, and even punching a hole in the wall near where his dad was standing. His parents had had enough. They called the police. Ryan was charged, and an AVO was taken out by the police on behalf of his parents. However, Ryan lived at home. He had nowhere else to go, and he was homeless. Together with his StreetWork youth caseworker, Ryan developed some goals. He actually wanted to get his anger under control, seek the specialist services that he needed for his drug and alcohol addiction. He actually wanted to get on better with his parents, and he wanted to find some stable accommodation. So together, they set a plan to actually reach those goals. He's in stable accommodation. He's actually enrolled in a anger management course, and he's actually now seeking the specialist services for his drug and alcohol addiction. Ryan often says to his friends and his family, if it wasn't for StreetWork, the outcome of his life would be totally different. He'd either be heavily addicted to drugs and alcohol, possibly turn to crime as a way of funding that addiction, possibly in juvenile detention or in jail, or even worse, he says that he probably would no longer be around, he'd be dead because of his addiction. StreetWork works with vulnerable young people aged 11 to 25 because we know that with some support and some community connections to the specialised services that they need, young people are empowered to take control and change the trajectory of their life. We work with many young people like Ryan who are affected by many different risk factors. As in Ryan's case, he was affected by drugs and alcohol, homelessness, domestic violence, and poor mental health. Many of the organisations that refer to StreetWork do so because they just find young people like Ryan too hard, too difficult, or actually too risky to work with. But we don't. In 2020, so far, 70% of the referrals that have been made to StreetWork have come from a government department, including the police, education and schools, community services, and juvenile justice. What we're asking you to consider tonight is funding our Kickstart Early Intervention Mentoring Program. It's a one-on-one empowerment program where young people are actually in control of setting goals and developing plans to address the risk factors that are affecting their lives. We actually are supporting them to turn their life around. Up until now, I've been speaking to your heart. Now I actually want to speak to your head, all right, and actually share some amazing results and achievements that have been independently validated for us. 92 cents in every single dollar that is donated to StreetWork goes direct to service delivery, where young people, just like Ryan, are actually supported. PwC estimates that based on our 2019 early intervention programs, we delivered $123 million worth of community return. Just in case you thought I got that number wrong, I didn't. $123 million. And we do this without any government recurrent funding. Now you might be thinking, how does that work? Well, we don't actually fit neatly into any bucket of what we would call government funding. We're not a homeless service, we're not drug and alcohol service, we're not a mental health service, we're not even a suicide prevention service. However, as was with Ryan's case, we cut across all of those organisations and the government just doesn't know how to provide us with any support. We also engaged with PwC to actually help us estimate what our social return on investment actually is. So they estimate for every $1 that is invested or donated to StreetWork, we deliver a $16 return to the community. Let me help you with the maths here, guys. 50,000 will equate to $800,000 community return. So when you cast your vote in a little while, what we want you to do is to help us take the first step to actually supporting the 100 young people that are currently on our wait list to turn their lives around. We can't do it on our own. These people can't wait until, the economy recovers. They need your support tonight. So together we can turn lives around.
Wonderful. Thank you, Helen. Great work from StreetWork. Amazing. Thank you very much.